Whether you walk for fun or merely for transportation, you're taking part in one of the greatest and most available forms of exercise. More than 5 million people rely on their feet to get to work, and millions more just walk for relaxation. With us this morning is perhaps the world's foremost walker, Gary Yanker. He is an expert with a few tips on how the rest of us can get a lot out of a morning stroll. First of all, which is superior, walking or jogging?
Well, it depends how you compare the two, but I come out for walking mainly because it's injury-free. All of us can do it, regardless of our age. It's relatively easy. You can start easy, and you can do it your whole life.
But I would think that the athletes I see running in the park every morning are sniffing a little snobbery that jogging is vastly superior exercise to walking, no?
Well, it depends how you measure them. Calories burned, they're about equivalent per mile.
How much per mile?
Well, it depends on your body weight, of course, but let's say about 100 calories to 120 calories per mile. Cardiovascularly, it depends on what kind of walking you're talking about. Of course, strolling, you can't get your heart rate up. But with fast walking or backpacking or climbing, you can get it up to the level of the runner and even higher in some cases.
How so? You say with backpacking, I thought the only equipment one would need for walking would be a pair of feet, but no, more than that?
Well, you can use your feet and move them fast, or you can walk at a normal pace and load yourself up in your backpack or on your ankles using ankle weights like these.
There are ankle weights, take my word for it. Now, when you say load it up, what have you got in there?
Well, this
lunch?
is low. This is light. Yes, you can carry lunch, you can carry your papers to work, and basically you would start about 12 pounds.
Yeah.
If you're in medium fitness, and start with no pounds if you're in no fitness. And you would gradually load up the backpack. And
is it preferable to put it in back?
Yes, it is. In fact, the backpack is an ideal exercise equipment because it really distributes the weight properly down to the waist area on the body, and you won't hurt yourself.
Now, joggers have to spend hundreds of dollars on the perfect shoes. They didn't used to, but they do today. Now, you have brought some shoes along with you. Don't tell me that serious walkers have to invest a fortune in shoes, too?
Well, walkers, as I outline in my exercise walking book, walkers can take any shoe and test it to see if it's a good walking shoe. This Rockport casual shoe isn't called walking, but in fact it's good for walking because it has a flexible sole, it has a big toe box, it has a padded collar, and it has support, just like a running shoe. In fact, running shoes are defanged for improvements in regular shoes for walking.
But this is not the same as a running shoe. Can I walk in my running shoes?
You can walk in your running shoes, too. These have an advantage because they have leather and they last longer, and they also have some cloth on the top which helps the foot breathe better while you're walking.
Does speed count? I mean, most of us walking casually, strolling, if you will, as you said, that's not good cardiovascular workout. At what point do you start getting your pulse rate up to a useful level?
Well, it's really a program, and I think people think walking is easy, but it needs technique and you need knowledge. In the book, you start the exercise walking I outlined starting with strolling and building up to a normal paced walk, and then from there going to a brisk walk, which is like rushing to an appointment.
Do you sweat when you walk fast?
Well, it depends on the temperature outside in the air, but if you walk really fast, you get your body heat up, and yes, you would sweat.
Now, I see men and women in the park sometimes coming to work in the morning, devoted runners, and sometimes walkers, and it's a very interesting stride they have. It's almost a swing from left to right to left to right, as opposed to propelling themselves straight forward. Is it hard to learn the technique?
Well, they're doing the race walking technique, and that takes some practice, and in fact, you have to learn how to stretch your leg out further and rotate the hip and pump the arms. But you can do a modified version of the race walking technique, which I outline in a chapter called Fast Walking in the exercise walking book, and basically it involves stretching your stride and making your feet move faster. It takes practice, and of course you can make your arms on the body go like a race walker, or you can lengthen them and just walk normally so no one will see you're even exercise walking.
Gary, very interesting. Here I thought I was an accomplished pedestrian all these years. Here's another word from Jerry Taft.